What's up, guys? It is the Great Death Sentence here. Today we're going to be doing a what if, interesting what if. What if Rock Lee never fought Gaara? It would drastically change the series if you think about it. Rock Lee is one of the strongest characters. He's one of the most overrated, but at the same time underrated characters on Part 1. He's way stronger than what he gives people credit for, and his fifth gate Lee form is honestly extremely strong. And I mean extremely. Yeah, his fifth gate Lee form is very strong and kind of underrated by a lot of fans. I'll talk about how strong it is, but I will make a dedicated video explaining how strong Lee is in part 1, because he's honestly really strong and he can honestly hang with Naruto for longer than expected when you think and really analyze his feats. But today this is going to be kind of two what ifs in one. In this universe, Rock Lee is not going to fight Gaara, and he's going to be fresh through all of part 1. And another slight alteration is that Shino is just going to go with them to the Sound Ford arc when that happens to retrieve Sasuke. So basically, Lee and Shino are going to get added to that team in this what if. I decided to just do two what ifs in one. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin. So basically, how it's going to work is everything is going to go the same into the preliminaries. Lee is not going to fight Gaara this time. He's going to fight, I don't know, somebody like Kiba. Since Lee can basically beat anyone at that time, with Naruto and Sasuke included, he would probably just fight Kiba or somebody irrelevant, maybe Zagu, or take out somebody like them. So he would probably fight against Kiba. The other matches would go up like usual, and eventually it would be him and a few others left for, the final preliminary rounds. Even though Rock Lee basically braves whoever the fuck he fought at that time, he would know Sasuke, Gaara, and Naruto, and all the others are extremely strong. Gaara also easily breezed who it was that he fought who wasn't Lee, just sand coughing a poor innocent soul. But anyway, he would breeze through, they would both get past the preliminaries completely untouched. But Gaara would know that Sasuke is extremely strong and would know not to underestimate him. And so just like that, the story will go as usual. I don't know who Rock Lee will get matched up against in final rounds, but it doesn't really matter anyway, since they will get attacked and they won't be able to finish the training exams anyway. And so just like that, Lee would be completely fresh and he would train. He would have, I think it was 1 month to train and get stronger for the second preliminary rounds of the training exams. He wouldn't exactly know who he would be fighting, but he would know that Sasuke would fight Gaara, Naruto would fight Neji, Shikamaru would fight Tamari, and Shino would fight Kankuro, and Lee and the others would fight whoever survived that round. So he would know that he would possibly be fighting against Gaara, Sasuke, or Naruto, Tamari, or Shino, who are nothing to scoff at. He would train really hard and would train with excitement, hoping that he would find a better challenge than he did in the preliminaries. And so just like that, eventually we would arrive at the final tournament of the training exams. So all the matches would go like usual. Naruto would defeat Neji, and Shikamaru would outsmart Tamari. Sasuke would fight against Gaara, and eventually the Sand Village would attack. Now Kabuto would put everybody under a Genjutsu, so I don't know if Lee has any Genjutsu defense. At part 1, he's never been put in a Genjutsu. Despite Rock Lee's goofy nature, he has the aura and skill to maybe get out of it, but I'm not really going to bank on it. Even if he is captured, Sakura will probably, unfreak him from the Genjutsu once all said is done. Anyway, Gaara and Sasuke's fight getting interrupted. Sasuke will pursue Gaara like in the original, and Sakura will go to basically, get him out of the spell. It's at this point that Kakashi would send Naruto, Shikamaru, Sakura, and Lee to go get Sasuke. Now in the original, Kakashi didn't want a 4th person because he felt like it would be too much, but my guy would be present and would insist Rock Lee go with them. By this point, nobody knows except Guy himself that Lee has access to the gates. He didn't get a chance to use them in the preliminary rounds. Kakashi wouldn't know either, but my guy would insist that Sakura take Lee with him, and he would say that Lee would be a huge asset to them. Kakashi would be skeptical, but know that he can trust Guy, and that when it comes down to it, Guy is an idiot and knows what he's doing. So he would tell Sakura to, break Lee from the Genjutsu spell, and just like that, we would have 4 people, and I guess 5 with the dog, pursuing Sasuke. Things would go like it was in the original. They would run into Kankuro, but Shino would fight Kankuro. Sasuke would clap Tamari, and eventually he would fight against Gaara. Their fight would go basically the same until Sasuke eventually gets overwhelmed. Before Gaara could finish off Sasuke, Lee, Sakura, and Naruto would come. I should also mention that since Lee didn't really get to use any of his speed, Sasuke would have the Chidori, but his speed now might be that high. But I don't think it matters too much, since if Sasuke can't copy Lee's speed, then he would just copy Kakashi. Kakashi would just train Sasuke's speed to be at the speed he required to, use Chidori essentially. But anyway, so the battle would go on, and eventually Sasuke gets saved by two extra fighters. Sakura and Dogs are completely non-factor, but Lee and Naruto would go to fight Sasuke, while Sakura would go to try and, fix up Sasuke after his battle. So this is where it will begin. Now the two would inevitably lose, of course, because Gaara would eventually go bring out the full Shukaku form, and as strong as 58 Lee is, he's not Jinchuriki level, so he would get defeated, but he will put up a very good fight. Naruto would be kind of starstruck, but eventually get the confidence he has, plus with Lee backing him. The two would fight, but eventually be defeated. It's at this point that Gaara would eventually unleash the One Tail, and then Naruto would have to, bring out Gemabuta. He would summon Gemabuta, and everything would pretty much go like it did normal. Gaara with Naruto backing him would get defeated earlier, but he would summon the One Tail, which would require Naruto to summon Gemabuta. Eventually, things would go like normal. They would defeat Gaara, and it's also by this point that Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto would, notice Rock Lee opening the gates. Sasuke would see how strong Rock Lee is. And remember, this Rock Lee is way stronger than the one in the past. He had a month to train, and his physical body is definitely way stronger, as with his speed. So he would be extremely strong and fast, but he probably wouldn't be a match for Gaara, and neither would Naruto because of the One Tail. So eventually Naruto would defeat Gambuta, would defeat Gaara like he did in the original, and talk no jutsu him and turn Gaara to the side of good or whatever. Rock Lee would realize that his fifth gate wasn't enough, but he would still, have enough time to train. He would probably be out of commission for a couple days, but wouldn't permanently be out of commission like it was in the original series. His body would be slightly damaged, and eventually, with a couple of days in hospital, he would recover and start training harder than before. He would have extreme respect for Naruto, Sasuke, and Gaara. He would consider Gaara a personal rival and would train to hope to fight him in battle again, and this time defeat him. His physical body would be way stronger, his speed would increase, and who knows, he might even unlock the 6th gate. Probably not, but he would have roughly 5 to 6 months to train before Sasuke would leave, so he would definitely develop extremely fast. He probably would have an extreme physical body, and his 5th gate strength would drastically increase. So this Lee would be an absolute tank by the time we get to the Sasuke Uchiha arc. Anyway, the timeline would go, like usual until Sasuke crashes out, snakes Naruto, and eventually leaves the village. Shikamaru would go to gather his team, and of course Rock Lee would go with them. He's extremely strong and ready to make up for his defeat in the Chunin exams. So him, Neji, Lee, and this time Shina would be with them. Shina is with them because, again, I'm doing 2 what ifs in one, and Lee and Shina are going to join the team, at least in this timeline. So they would go to pursue Sasuke group, eventually get past the traps, run into Jirobo. So Choji would go to fight Jirobo. Now there are 7 of them in total, as opposed to the original 5, with 2 extra members like Shino and Lee. But Choji would fight against Jirobo. Jirobo would catch him in a rock shit, but they would break out even faster this time, with 2 powerhouses on the team. Now, Shikamaru would want a spare member to help out Choji, but Choji would want to personally defeat Jirobo. But Shikamaru wouldn't want to do it, but he would respect Choji's wishes. So eventually, he would let Choji fight Jirobo one-on-one. That fight goes like how we did in the original, and you would have 6 members pursuing the 3 members left now. Eventually, they would run into Kidomaru. Kidomaru would trap them all in the webs, but eventually they would break out of it. Neji will fight against Kidomaru, but Shikamaru realized that he had a significant number advantage, realizing there are only 2 members left. He decides to spare Rock Lee to help out Neji, since he still have the enemy outnumbered 5 to 2 now. And so, just like that, Lee and Neji would go to fight against Kidomaru. Rock Lee, with his superior speed, faster speed like it was in the original, will easily cover Neji's blind spot. His combat speed isn't as fast as Neji, but when he takes off his weights, he's exponentially fast. So he would cover Rock Lee's blind spot, and eventually Neji would find Kidomaru like in the original. He would tell Lee where he is. Lee would open maybe the second or third gate to quickly catch up to Kidomaru and one-shot him and kill him like he did in the original. So eventually he would destroy Kidomaru. It wouldn't be a quick fight, but it would be a medium to difficult fight. Lee and Neji are going to struggle, but they are pretty much going to be in pretty good shape by the time they defeat Kidomaru. Neji will be in even better shape. Rock Lee's body is going to be damaged a little bit, but not too heavily damaged that he's out of the battle. So eventually they will defeat Kidomaru, then go leave to assist the others. Eventually they would run into Tayuya, Kimimaro, and Sagan. Kiba would get separated from the group and would, fight against Sagan in a one-on-one battle. However, Shikamaru still wants to, send somebody to help out Kiba. Shino will go to help out his best friend instinctively and would jump down, down the tunnel like he jumped down the tunnel to help out Kiba. Shikamaru won't mind this too much, he still has a number advantage. So Shino will go to help out Kiba fight against Sagan and Yukon. This battle is going to be interesting. So Kiba by himself even though he didn't defeat Sagan and Yukon, he did put up a really good battle when he eventually fought the two. And he will be in really good shape with Shino by his side. If Kiba can split Sagan and Yukon like he did in the original, then all Shino has to do is just use his bugs to devour their chakra while they're separated. All Shino has to do is just touch Sagan and Yukon once and it's over. Sagan and Yukon would defeat Kiba and Shino one-on-one, but with the two of them together, they would definitely win. Even though Kiba didn't defeat Sagan and Yukon, it basically took the remaining chakra to stop Kiba, since by the time they defeated Kiba, they were pretty much out of chakra, which explains why Conqueror was able to kill them so easily. And Shino is stronger than Conqueror, or possibly stronger than Conqueror, since he did beat him. And yes, I see Shino as the victor, because Conqueror went down first, and ultimately Shino won that fight. But anyway, with somebody possibly stronger than Conqueror assisting Kiba, then basically Kiba would weaken him and Shino would just finish him off. So it would go like I did in the original, except this time Conqueror and Yukon get defeated by Shino, and Shino would absorb their chakra and add that strength to his own. And Kiba will be out of commission because he will probably have to use his giant finger or Fang to give Shino an opening to finish the two off. But yeah, after defeating Sagan and Yukon, Shino would tell Kiba to just chill out and go back to the village where he goes to help out finish the mission. Kiba would stubbornly agree, and just like that, they would go to help. So we now have three basically fresh members going to help out Naruto and Shikamaru. Shikamaru fought against Tayuya for a bit, but eventually Shino, Lee, and Neji would arrive. With those assistants, they would easily jump the fuck out of Tayuya. It would be a very short fight. And so they would defeat her, and then they would go to help out Naruto. Naruto would fight against Kimimaro, but eventually his other teammates would arrive. Shikamaru would tell Naruto to go after Sasuke, realizing his personal form, and then those two would try their best, those four would try their best to try and hold off Kimimaro. Eventually, the Sand siblings would arrive, and Kimimaro would get fucked here. He wouldn't stand a chance against almost 7 members against all of them. He barely beat Gaara, and really Gaara beat him. We just kind of ran out of stamina. But with 6 members assisting Gaara, yeah, Kimimaro gets fucked here. Way quicker and easier in the original. So they would defeat Kimimaro, jumping him to death, and then they would go assist Naruto fighting against Sasuke. Not even gonna go over this. Sasuke barely beat Naruto, and with Gaara and the others assisting him, yeah, Sasuke would have no chance. They would defeat Sasuke and take his pussy ass back to Hidden Village, and this is pretty much where the what if would end. So things change drastically if Lee does not fight Gaara. Again, Lee is extremely strong. I want to make a video explaining how strong he is, but to put into perspective about how strong Lee is, everybody has to remember, Gaara did not defeat Rock Lee in a traditional way. He basically outlasted Lee. 5th Gate Lee didn't get defeated by anybody in part one, and is probably really strong, almost incomparably strong. Fifth Gate Lee beat Gaara in just a couple of hits and was gonna kill him in 2 hits. The only reason Gaara survived is because of he cushioned his fall. But if Lee had infinite gates, I would say Fifth Gate Lee is way above base Gaara. Again, he defeated Gaara in just a couple of hits and probably could have killed him had the cushion not been there. And if you give Lee infinite 5 gate, then I think he would tear Gaara's ass apart until he turns into the One Tail. So Fifth Gate Lee is honestly really fucking strong, underrated. And in this what if, since Gaara wouldn't damage him as bad, he would have time to train, hone his body, and create a stronger form of the 5 gates by the time we get into the Sasuke retrieval arc. So he would be a huge asset, and with his help and Shino's, they would easily bring back Sasuke to the village. And so just like that, this what if would basically end. They would bring Sasuke back to the village, and not too much would change after that, to be honest. Sasuke would find different methods of getting stronger. He would eventually find out about the truth about Itachi after killing him. He would crash out, but eventually go back to the good side after Naruto beats his ass in their final battle. He wouldn't have he would have the curse mark, but he would probably keep the curse mark for a while. But again, this video isn't about Sasuke, it's about Rock Lee and basically Shino. So yeah, this is what I believe would happen. Again, Lee will be a huge asset in part 1 if he's not, if he's not taken out of commission by Gaara. Lee would have been a huge help in the following events to come, but Gaara did, bedrid him for a while. But in this universe, Lee is not bedridden. He would have time to train, get stronger, in his 5th gate form would definitely do some damage, and it would bring Sasuke back. So yeah, the what if is pretty much over. That's all I wanted to say. I'm going to make a more detailed video about how strong 5th gate Lee is, since it's honestly underrated. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say, and Depths in it's out.
Round 3.